Yo, I made a new VOD channel, bro. A lot of y'all been asking me to post my VODs, to post the long form Twitch streams. So
go subscribe, man.
And tune into the Twitch. We still ain't got going to the Twitch. What's going on, bro? You don't f me, bro? Do I not make your laugh enough, bro? What I gotta do? Start bouncing? Whatever. I'm trolling. Appreciate y'all boys for the love and support, man. Make sure you tune into the VOD channel, you know what I'm saying? If you want to see the long content, because I know a lot of y'all don't be tuned into the Twitch, you know what I'm saying? But it will be on YouTube now. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video. Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss. I ain't never doing that again, bro. Watch the video, nigga. Man, there's always something. This, that, some type of limitation trying to hold me back. You get tired. You gonna get tired. Trust and believe. But if you quit, that's when you lose everything. And I can't quit because I was born to win. Does the CIA make people disappear? CIA spy reveals Lil Dibble stories. Now, if I'm being honest, I've been seeing this guy all over TikTok, and I'm still wondering how the f he is alive, right? He's been giving out all the gems and secrets of the FBI or the CIA, and it's like, who allowed them to spread this information, and why are we being, hammered with this nigga videos? You know what I'm saying?
Does the CIA listen through our phones and laptop cameras? Yes. I hate to say it. They can take over your smart television and turn the speaker into a microphone so that they can listen to what's being said in the room even when the TV is turned off.
Now, I do believe that because a lot of things like Siri, Alexa, they have to constantly be on. The microphone has to constantly be on in order to hear you say, "Hey Siri," or "Hey Alexa." You feel me? And I don't know if these companies like Apple or Amazon or whatever are signing contracts with the FBI and CIA to allow them to do this, but I'm pretty sure they are. So I do believe in this to a certain extent. Now, do I believe that the FBI could be using my PC right now to listen to me? Probably. I don't know, man. Hold on. Kilos. Stop talking about MJ. We done talking about that. Honest to God. Honesty box.
Hello, I'm John Kiriakou. I'm a former CIA counterterrorism officer and former senior investigator for the U.S. Senate Committee on Foreign Relations, and I'm here today to answer questions from the Honesty Box.
That's crazy. It's crazy how I'm first being introduced to him by him telling the truths of the CIA. I thought they were never supposed to do this.
The first one is, what did the CIA actually do? There are several answers to that question. What the CIA is supposed to do, what it is legally tasked with doing, is very simply to recruit spies, to steal secrets, and then to analyze those secrets to give the president and other senior policymakers the best information with which they can make policy.
Okay.
Now, in real life, it's not that simple. The CIA does whatever the president tells it to do. That could be to overthrow foreign governments.
Okay, this is real. This is real. If y'all know any history of Israel, right, this is exactly what happened. They threw a coup d'etat, or whatever you call it, you feel me, where they took over the actual government, you know what I'm saying, and placed their own government so that we can have these connections and ties and get all the oil and support from them, you know what I'm saying? If y'all didn't know that, which is actually crazy.
It could be to implement.
He got 2 years for this? Wait, what you mean like he got 2 years? He got 2 years for leaking this? When did this come out? When did this come out? This came out 2 months ago. The big Yahoo, Benjamin Netanyahu, who is that?
Covert action programs to influence the foreign media, to even kill people.
Okay, influencing the foreign media. Part of the reason why the United States got involved with TikTok was because of the mass amount of information on other countries that was being placed on there, and the truth about the United States was being leaked. So they wanted to, pivot our attention from that and control the media so we can only be directed in the United States type algorithm and all that. So being fed propaganda and They love propaganda.
It just depends on who the president is and what policy he wants to implement. What skills make a good agent? You might be surprised by the answer, actually. The CIA, when it recruits spies, when it recruits operations officers, doesn't necessarily look for the big, buff guy who works out, every day or 6 days a week. They look for people
I'm pretty
who
sure you don't need to be buff
have
to have secrets,
sociopathic
right?
tendencies, not sociopaths. Sociopaths are impossible to control because they have no conscience. They blow right through a polygraph exam, but they won't take orders. People who have sociopathic tendencies do react to a polygraph. They do experience regret or remorse. They will respond to directives and orders. I'll give you an example. When I first was recruited by the CIA, I was asked in a group of new hires.
Okay, hold on. How do you even get recruited or even considered for recruitment? I know you said that you have to have sociopathic tendencies, but like, where do I go? Like, do I have to be like a FBI agent? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do I do that? You're not getting in, Tay? I'm not trying to be a CIA agent, and I wouldn't want to be one.
What we would do if we got a cable from CIA headquarters ordering us to collect information on the Indonesian economy. You recruit the Indonesian economic secretary, you make him your best friend, you spend money on him, your wives become friends, you vacation together, but you learn that he is just not recruitable. So what do? Well, one of my colleagues said you double down, work the case another 6 months, and hope for the best. A second colleague said, maybe you work it through your wives, maybe your wife can convince his wife to give you the information. I raised my hand and I said, you break into the Indonesian embassy and you steal it. And the instructor said, that's exactly what you do. That's a sociopathic tendency.
Okay. So being so determined to get that information that you're willing to risk it all. Sociopaths, definitely.
What's the coolest piece of spy tech you ever got to use? There's kind of a dirty little secret about spy tech. And it is that 95% of it is purchased from Amazon.com.
Say you swear, bro.
Seriously.
Well, hold on. With you just saying that lets me know that, yes, Amazon is definitely part of the CIA. Because
it is cheaper and it is quicker just to go online and buy it and then use it operationally than it is to invent it from scratch.
So you're telling me y'all don't have no crazy technology that differs or that's different from society? Like, the technology that y'all use, we can legit buy that and put it in our living room. That's dangerous as hell. Why are we giving these what the fuck? Yo, I thought the CIA was a little bit more. Yo, you shouldn't be telling this, man. Take this honesty of box away from bro, for real.
The coolest piece of spy tech that I ever used was, it was a leather briefcase. I just went into the local marketplace in Pakistan and bought it. I think it cost the equivalent of like $10. And over the course of 3 days, one of our technical officers pulled the threads out of it, installed a wire all the way around the briefcase, which could act as a list.
Bro, you just said that y'all weren't inventing shit from scratch. I mean, granted, you just said, that's not inventing, but that's combining two separate. I mean, actually, can I buy a actual transporter wire that they use from Amazon like they use it? There's no way.
Listening device.
It gets worse.
And then packed the area around the wire with these little teeny tiny batteries that I had never seen before. And then he sewed the whole thing closed again.
So that's obviously not from Amazon, but the briefcase is.
So I walked into a meeting with my little briefcase. The bad guy took the briefcase from me, opened it up, looked through it. It didn't have anything in it because it was all sewn into the lining. And we sat there and had the meeting while my colleagues half a mile away were able to listen to the entire thing.
So you just gave this video out to all your ops and enemies. So anytime that one of your CIA agents do this shit in another country, now them gonna be on edge and be a little bit more aware to pat you down there and strip your ass naked. See, this is why part of me has a problem with believing that what he's saying is true. Because it's like, as a CIA operative, why in the world would you tell people this? He retired 03. Okay, if he retired that long ago, I know 23 years ago, technology wasn't the best, so I guess now. Well, no, he said Amazon. When did Amazon come out? Oh, wow, Amazon been around for... I didn't know that. I did not know Amazon been out that... Okay, wow. Really? People was using Amazon back then? That's crazy. That's crazy to believe.
It was very cool. Does the CIA listen through our phones and laptop cameras? Yes. I hate to say it. There was a dramatic leak in 2017 that the CIA came to call the Vault 7 disclosures. Gigabytes worth of documents leaked by a CIA technology engineer. What he told us was that the CIA can intercept anything from anyone, number one. Number two, they can remotely take control of your car.
I don't believe that. I do not believe that in the slightest. Take remotely control of your car. Because the cars that we had back then didn't have all the technology that it does now. Now I believe it. Like now, like current cars from 2015 and up, I believe this is true. Back then, no, man.
Through the car's embedded computer. To do what?
CIA seen my pic. All right.
To make you drive off a bridge, into a tree, to make you kill yourself, and make it look like an accident.
They also build portfolios for all customers just in case of possible issues, as it states in the terms of service. Tay, that's true.
They can take over your smart television and turn the speaker into a microphone so that they can listen to what's being said in the room even when the TV is turned off. God knows what else that they can do that hasn't been leaked.
Is that really true, though? Is that really true? In every TV, there's a speaker that any random CIA agent can connect to? Or is it just specific TVs bought from a specific person? I highly doubt that the CIA is just sitting here spending their time trying to hone in on all American families with a guy. Yeah, All-Star can turn your car off if it gets stolen. All-Star? Allstate? Allstate can turn your car off if it gets stolen. Well, don't they have to import something? Like they have to add some kill switch or something to your car? OnStar? What is OnStar? But don't you have to add this technology to the car? Yes, Tay, the microphone thing is true if you know a little about cybersecurity. So they're actually, hold on, microphones. Let's look this up, man. Microphones and TVs. Let's actually look this up. Are they actually doing this shit? Smart TVs, built-in remote-based microphone for voice commands, app navigation and search, while enhancing yada yada yada. Okay, I already said this, like Bixby, Google Assistant, Alexa, like shit like that. But like my old box TV, my nigga, there's no way, bro. Box TVs, microphones. There's no way. Oh my God. No, you what is this? Speakers can be used as a microphone. I think it's accessible for the CIA, but they need to be in close range for it. Think about the repo companies. If the repo man can't get your car, they would contact the dealership and have the vehicle drive itself away. When has that ever happened? What are y'all talking about? Like these new cars? Or y'all talking like how old are we talking about? Like I said, I believe that's only possible with these 2015 and up cars. I can tell you right now, my car is not self-driving, my nigga. Box TVs had V-chips put in them in the Clinton administration. What? Box TVs, chips, Clinton administration. During the Clinton V-chip violence chip became a significant policy initiative aimed at giving parents more control of the television content their children watched. The V-chip was a device installed in television sets that allowed parents to block programming based on rating for violence, sex, or objectionable content. The V-chip endorsing it as a parental responsibility. Initiative was industry resistance. While some applaud the move, the broadcast and cable industries initially opposed it, and some executives argued it was a form of government censorship or political maneuver for the 1996 election. Implementations: all television set 13 inches or larger, manufactured in the U.S. were required to have the V-chip. What? Although often referred as V-chip, it was also referred as a choice chip to indicate it could filter and for various types of objectionable content. Why the fuck? That doesn't even... Yeah, that's definitely some there, gang. Nah, that was not there to block violence and sex on TV. He definitely implanted that so he can listen to your ass. Okay, that's crazy. Tay trying to be performing and flexing. He drives a bust-down car. Don't have no fucking elite whip, bro.
Are hitmen real? Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's obvious. Hitmen are definitely real. We know that.
At the National Security Council, there is a committee that meets every Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock to draw up something called the kill list. They sit around a table and they make a list of all the people that they want to kill that week. And then they take it back to the CIA, which has a dedicated unit. I won't tell you the name, but it has a dedicated unit.
You might as well tell us, bro. You telling us all this information.
That takes receipt of the list. They say, okay, number one. They drive to the airport, they get on the plane, they go out to that country, they kill the person, they come back, and then they go to number 2 on the list. That happens every single week.
Every single week, someone is getting killed by some random. That is so crazy. Just make a list of people that you don't like or fuck with, or that you think are a threat to your society, and you just have random killing them. I wonder if this is happening in other countries too, like if they also are hiring hitmen to knock off people in our society. You know what I'm saying? And are they attacking? It's like it feels like they're not really attacking famous individuals. You know what I'm saying? Because if they did, that would be kind of too obvious. So they got to be attacking people that are like low key but powerful as people on the scenes. That's why a other 9/11 ain't happened. It would be something in the circuit board that would have the functionality to feed info to them directly. And I'm sorry, I misclicked. UK got something similar to this, I believe.
Now, we can have a conversation about whether that's right or whether it's wrong. It's certainly immoral. It's illegal, but it's been tasked by the president. At the same time, they will tell you.
So when the Cash App man died, I don't think y'all know, the creator of Cash App legit died. He got brutally stabbed out of nowhere. A billionaire gets murked like that. I think that's a setup, bro. That just doesn't happen. You don't necessarily see a billionaire die from a regular. You feel me? When I seen that, I'm like, nah, that's definitely a hitman, gang.
There hasn't been another 9/11, has there? Maybe it's because we're out there killing people.
What kind of people would be on that list?
Oh, the most.
The unit is called B613, and yes, every country with an intelligence agency has a CIA doing filthy M16, which is what James Bond is based from. They're similar to the
dangerous
CIA.
Terrorists in the world.
They drown in their
Or
tub.
at least people that the CIA deems to be the most dangerous terrorists in the world. How does the CIA recruit spies in foreign countries? That cuts right to the very heart of what the CIA is. The CIA trains its officers in something called the asset acquisition cycle. It has 4 steps: spot, assess, develop, recruit. So let's say you're a brand new CIA officer overseas. You get out there and mingle and go to diplomatic cocktail parties or go anywhere where there might be a viable target for you.
Okay.
You spot the target, you go up. Hi, how are you? I'm the new officer at the American Embassy. I'm covering political affairs or economic affairs or trade or whatever it is you're doing. You exchange business cards. That's spotting. Assessing is I say, so what do you do for a living? If you tell me that you do something that I'm operationally interested in, that's my assessment of you. Then I develop you. That's actually the fun part. That is us going to lunch and going to dinner, and I spend money on you because I have literally an unlimited budget to do so.
Wow.
And maybe we go on vacation together, and our wives are friends, and you mention offhandedly that you...
I don't know if some random guy came up to spot me and talk to me, and then out of nowhere he starts spending money on me. I would feel comfortable. I'll feel like you have ties to the mafia, and you're definitely trying to, you know, what's the word? Lure me into doing some nasty shit. Like, there's no way that a regular human can sit there and think that because he, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're, it's like, how can't you know that you're being assessed for something that's, you know what I'm saying? Getting
like
tricked
to go
on
fishing.
is like, come on now. Ain't been here in a minute.
Let's say, so I charter a boat for $4,000 and I take you deep sea fishing because you could never afford to do it on your own. And then
yeah, a grown man getting tricked on by another grown man is nuts. Like, that's hard to believe that other is allowing other to do that. And not feeling like, all right, there's definitely something off about this. This has unlimited money. We just met. And you want to spend money on me, gang? That's, nah, you want me to do something for your come on, bro.
become
It's definitely transactional.
best friends.
Now you want to be masculine.
And because
what are you
we're
talking
best
about, bro?
friends, I say to you, hey, would you do me a favor? Yeah, I'm sorry to ask, but you know, the Russians have this new tank, and I know that you guys have access to the plans, and I would really appreciate...
Oh, wait, no. Okay, he's not saying American, right? This is more so foreign, right? The question was, how do you get CIA operatives in another country? And you trick on them. So their society and their rules and their norms are a little bit different. So tricking on another man might not be as crazy as it is in America. You know what I'm saying? In America, it's like, nah, that's something's going on. Like, you trying to get something from me. You feel me? In other countries, might be a show of genuine, like, love. You know what I'm saying? Illegally transport them.
If you could just make me a copy of those plans. I know that sounds kind of funny, but it would help me a lot. So, hey, thanks. I appreciate it. Give me I'll pick them up tonight. And then maybe I start giving you a little bit of money. And then finally, when it comes to the recruitment, I say, I haven't been totally honest with you.
When you asked me to pick up this crazy information, I think I got the picture. I got the deal of what you were. I'm pretty sure you were lying about your whole identity. Okay, I know you're with the CIA or some crazy group.
I'm actually a CIA officer, undercover. Are you okay with that? You're a great guy, and you're my best friend. And how about if I give you $5,000 a month, and you just answer my question?
$60K a year? Ain't no money, man. In this society, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying that's not money, you know what I'm saying? But, like, to risk my life and be executed by my own government for 60 bands? Nah, man, I'm gonna need at least 100K, twin. Come on, bro.
Right? That's cool, right? And you undoubtedly will say yes, and the rest is history.
Got to be a good actor to do that. Pull that off. Yeah.
And a sociopath. Do you ever fear for your life? Not now, but over the course of my career, I did several times. And I'll give you one example. There were 2 active assassination attempts against me.
Wow.
In one, I just got lucky. And unfortunately, my next door neighbor was killed instead. He was the British defense attaché in Athens, Brigadier General Stephen Saunders. I think about it every single day. In another, an enemy country sent one of its officers and a double agent to kill me, but we had advance warning that it was going to happen, and we were able to neutralize the threat, as they say in the movies.
Neutralize the threat. They blew this fuck up. Let's just say that, right? Nuke this entire village. Fuck them. Holy shit.
But there was another experience that I had that troubled me deeply. I was serving in Pakistan at the time, and I was staying in a small guest house because it was safer than a big hotel. Sure enough, the big hotel was blown up and 45 people were killed while I was living there.
What the Yo! Oh, whoa, rerun that, gang? 45 got blew the up? What you mean, gang? Like, you just said this so casually.
Sure enough, the big hotel was blown up and 45 people were killed while I was living there. But I left my guest house at a different time.
45 died because they thought you was living in that hotel. Yo, man, this is so crazy, man. Imagine being on 45. Is that it's like being on a plane, right? When we I think we reacted to how cartel members died, and one of the cartel bosses, one of the Mexican president dead, and he blew up a plane with like 200 on it. Come to find out, the president wasn't even on that. So 200 lost their life because this is just the evil. That's so crazy, man. But it's like we in a whole nother person's game, and your life is so expendable to these. His life is that much more important than yours, just because he knows hella secrets. That is so crazy.
Like I did every day, and took a different route like I did every day to go to work. And I noticed that a man on a motorcycle wearing a red helmet was trying very hard to stay in my blind spot. I worked 12, 14 hours, whatever it was that day, and I left, and it was dark, and sure enough, there he was again. There's a definition of surveillance. It's multiple sightings at time and distance. So I've seen him multiple times at different times of the day and at different places. I'm definitely under surveillance. I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning, got in the car, drove a block, there he was again. So when I got to the office, I said to the security officer, I am under surveillance. I'm 100% sure that I'm under surveillance. He said, well, let's wait until the chief comes in. When the chief finally came in, I told him the story, and he said, well, you know what you have to do. I said, I know. I'm gonna kill him.
Whoa. Whoa.
If I see him this afternoon. I was worried about it all day, and all my coworkers came up to me that day to slap me on the back and say, don't worry, we're all gonna be out there, we're gonna have a whole security team. I said, I know, but I never killed anybody before, and I'm so worried that he's gonna kill me before I get a clear shot at him. That afternoon, I had a meeting at a safe house that we shared with the local service. And on my way out at the end of the meeting, and I don't know why I did this, but I turned around and I said, General, are you following me? And he said, no, why? And I said, because I'm under surveillance. And if I see this guy again, I'm gonna kill him. And I never saw him again. I learned later that several of their officers were sitting around and saying, you know, that new American guy, he's such a nice guy. Nobody's that nice. I wonder if he's being nice just to try to make us drop our guard. And they decided to put the worst surveillance officer in their entire intelligence service on me. And if I hadn't said something that afternoon, he would be in the ground today.
All right, I ain't gonna lie. This probably might be the only story that I don't believe from this. Like, I believe 45 blew the fuck up because of him, right? You know what I'm saying? But him turning to the general and just, it's like one of those, like, plot twist moments. You feel me? I read this book called Never Lie. Dope book. I got recommended to read it. And that plot line is, like, darn near the same, my nigga. I don't believe that shit. That's the only story I don't believe from this so far. You feel me? Because it's just too smooth. There's no way you just thought, you know what? Maybe my own generals is surveilling me. Like, what? I don't know. It sounds way too good. Like, so you're telling me that your hands were entirely clean in the CIA, right? You didn't have to kill this at all. Like, I would have believed that you shot, bro. You know what I'm saying? I would have believed that, but I don't believe that you didn't have to do that.
Does Trump have the UK and Europe's back? No, he doesn't. When we hear from journalists or political figures that Donald Trump doesn't like the Europeans, he doesn't like NATO, he doesn't like the European Union, we should take the man at his word. I don't think he does have Europe's back or even the UK's back. When he says America first, he means America first, whatever that means. He has an idea in his own mind, but I don't think he cares one whit about Europe. Which film or TV series portrays spy work the most accurately?
James Bond, he gotta say it.
Great question. I will tell you that at the CIA, we watch every single spy movie and spy series. All of us do. I'm proud to say that I have been the script advisor on The Bourne Ultimatum, on Kill the Messenger, on True Lies, and on Burn Notice.
See, someone said that they put troops in these movies. They put little troops into these movies, man. This just confirmed it, bro. This just confirmed it. They do this. They throw a little bit of reality into the movie, right? To program you. So when the actually happens IRL or is exposed, you're not up about it. Like, oh yeah, this happened somewhere.
We love this kind of thing. Most of them have nothing whatsoever to do with the reality of the CIA, except a couple.
And it's like, why expose that though? You know what I'm saying?
In terms of TV, Homeland, wow, they got it right. The only thing that they got wrong was if you go crazy, they send you to the hospital until you're not crazy anymore. In movies, there was a movie that came out in 2004 called The Recruit. The first half of the movie where...
This is why I think Call of Duty is war propaganda. Oh, no. Like, of course. That boy, they got you fighting in Afghanistan in that mother.
The lead character is going through training, 100% accurate, except for one minor difference. They didn't beat us in training. Everything else that he went through, whew, we went through it in spades. Most other movies, stinkers. And listen, just as a general rule, if somebody calls the CIA the company, turn it off. Is social media the biggest intelligence gathering tool today?
Yes.
It is absolutely one of them,
Oh,
yes.
that's obvious, boy.
You know, I was always amazed when I was at the CIA at how targets, legitimate intelligence targets, would literally put their entire lives on LinkedIn and Facebook. Incredible. You don't even have to do any research. They lay it all out right there on the screen for you. So the answer is yes. If you value your privacy, if you don't want to pop up on the radar, you have to stay away from social media. What was 9/11's impact on the world? You know, I was in the...
Hold on. How come we haven't heard any question about 9/11 being a plot by the government to hide files and destroy files that were hidden? You know what I'm saying? I feel like he avoided that question.
CIA's headquarters on the morning of 9/11.
Was 9/11 a genuine terrorist attack, or did our government? Y'all know where I'm going with this shit. There's no way you can. It's like the whole story of three random controlling an entire airplane of what, over 100 members, 100 with a knife. You telling me everybody on board was just scared of these three niggas? Not to mention that there was 3 planes. I think it was 4.
Well, we knew we were at war. And one of the first thoughts that I had that morning was, does Osama bin Laden have any idea what he's done? Does he have any idea how many people are going to die? We all knew what the American response was going to be. It was going to be merciless. The question is, what was 9/11's impact on the world? It was dramatic and lasting. We're almost 24 years after the 9/11 attacks, and we still can't go through airports with our shoes on. Untold trillions of dollars have been spent on counterterrorism and defense, and that is probably never going to change. Why are there so many wars in 2025? Well, do you want my real answer or do you want my diplomatic answer? My real answer is the U.S. has a defense budget that is bigger than the next 8 largest countries combined. After 9/11, the U.S. entered into something like a permanent wartime economy, where if we didn't have a war to fight and to finance, we would actually go into recession. Now, we see ourselves as the world's peacekeepers.
Hold on, twin. I don't feel like that's something you should be talking about, man. That sounds like a little bit. Yo, hold on, bro. You sure they not after your ass, man? You sure that you still not fearing for your life?
In many cases, we're not. We tend to be places where we're not wanted or welcome, and we end up forgetting to leave. There's an old joke in
forgetting to leave, right? And then also we forget to collect our weapons over there too. So these countries, some of them, right? They just take some of our weapons that just been left there and form these little terrorist groups. And you know what I'm saying? Because you ever wonder, you like, how the are some of these terrorist groups getting access to military grade weaponry? You're like, what the who the is getting this shit from? You know what I'm saying? I know the government's not supplying it. Their government, because they're trying to fight them. It's like, oh wait, we were over there, weren't we? He can tell us everything because no one is going to do anything for him.
Inside the CIA about Iran.
Yeah, I guess that is true, right? You expose the truth, and at this point in time, is so up financially, spiritually, mentally, physically, that ain't no one gonna do a damn thing. Ain't even gonna revolt against the old government at this point.
Like, why would Iran put its country right in the middle of all of our military bases? There you have it. Why are the three inside the CIA welcome, and we end up forgetting to leave? There's an old joke inside the CIA about Iran. Like, why would Iran put its country right in the middle of all of our military bases? There you have it. Why are there so many wars? It's because the U.S. has an activist foreign policy, and sometimes we make friends on the wrong side of issues. Can the CIA make someone disappear without a trace? You bet they can, and they do all the time. In the immediate aftermath of the 9/11 attacks,
I think child trafficking is part of this too.
CIA created, for example, an archipelago of secret prisons, and they would just disappear people. We would capture people in Al-Qaeda safe houses.
Disappearing nuts. I've never heard that. Fuck you mean you disappearing? They would just disappear. What's going on with the CIA, bro? What type of psychotic?
For example, let's say in Pakistan or Afghanistan, and we would ship them off to these secret prisons. And when I say secret prisons, I mean in many cases they were so secret that even the presidents and prime ministers of the countries where the prisons were based didn't know that there were secret CIA prisons in their countries.
Wow.
So the CIA can make people disappear in that respect. They can kill people and just bury them, in some crazy foreign land and nobody would ever know. But if you're a CIA officer, or better yet, let's say you're a KGB officer and you want to defect, the CIA will give you a completely new identity, more money than you can ever count, and you and your family can live happily ever after, under the name John Smith.
Hey, sign me up, man. Sign me up, you know what I'm saying? Live, hold on. A peaceful life? Nobody, hold on, twin. Sign me up,
and nobody would be the wiser.
Let me chill, you know what I'm saying, before the CIA really try to disappear my ass. Hold on.
How does the USA track terrorist threats? They use something called the terrorist matrix.
Terrorist matrix?
It's also called all-source intelligence. Believe it or not, members of terrorist groups actually give press interviews in which they telegraph what they're going to do in their next attack. That's one way, the media.
Wow.
Electronic surveillance. It could be intercepting cell phones, intercepting emails, intercepting encoded messages. Even intercepting messages from game platforms. We have
game platforms. Is really sending terrorist messages, holding terrorist press conferences in a PS5 party. That's just trying too damn hard, man. Honest to God, man. Like, you want to kill that bad, blow fuck up that bad? That's insane.
We have satellites that track these things. We have spies.
They caught people on CSGO. Oh my God.
Providing what's called HUMINT, short for human intelligence. So you use literally every source at your dispense and put this matrix together to try to disrupt that next attack. Can you be a spy and have a moral compass?
I know
what a great question that is. I'm going to say yes because I had a moral compass. It cost me my freedom. It cost me my job. It cost me my family. But it was worth it. There are some things.
Whoa.
Because what a great question that is. I'm going to say yes because I had a moral compass.
You said I had a moral compass and it cost them everything.
It cost me my freedom. It cost me my job.
His moral compass cost him his freedom, his job, and his family.
It cost me my family. But it was worth it. There are some things that you are tasked to do as a CIA counterintelligence officer that you just have to say no to. There are some things that are so...
So how did you lose your family because you decided to keep your compass? Did they kill them? You told them no and they wiped them out, nigga? And you still here chilling?
Immoral, so unethical, in many cases so illegal that you just should not do it. What is the most controversial thing you've worked on or heard about? It has to be the torture program. I went to prison for 23 months for going public.
Not what you just said, right? Holy shit.
With the CIA's torture program. I went on ABC News in the United States in December of 2007, and I said three things. I said the CIA was torturing its prisoners. I said that torture was official U.S. government policy. And I said that the policy had been personally approved by the president himself. The FBI investigated me. They determined I had not committed a crime. Then Barack Obama became president. They secretly reopened the case against me. I was indicted and charged with 5 felonies, including 3 counts of espionage for giving this interview. Remember, espionage can be a death.
Wow, so he actually did. Actually, let's just look this up too, just to make sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure the ain't lying, you know what I'm saying? Feel me? What's his name? No, he was charged with violating the intelligence. Oh my God, so he wasn't. Oh my God, he's not lying, bro. He's not lying. Dude, this is real. Whoa, why does he look so different now, gang? Okay, back then, he definitely looked like he was part of the CIA, man. Now he looks like, it looked like they drained him of everything. Like, he said they took his family, his life. And he looked like he was off Law and Order or some shit. Bro, Def had plastic surgery? No, he still looks the same. He just looks older. He just looks more sad now. I mean, he's speaking calm, but it's like he looks like he lost a lot of weight. That's one of the things. Like, he lost his fullness, if that makes sense. He was living off that CIA meal plan. Prime versus retirement difference. I mean, yeah, granted, what 2012 was, what, 14 years ago? So, yeah.
Death penalty charge. I had 3 of them. Well, I hadn't committed espionage, and finally they dropped those charges, but I ended up taking a plea to a lesser charge just to make this thing go away. I had 5 kids at home, I had gone bankrupt from the legal expenses, and I was facing 45 years in prison. They offered me 23 months, and I took the deal. But I would do it again today if I had to, because somebody had to stand up and say that this was wrong.
Wow, bro. So now, I'm just surprised, like, the CIA, well, if he disappeared, See, that's another thing. It makes sense. Like, if he disappeared now, it'll be too obvious that, you know, they got rid of his ass. So that's kind of in the clear now. Wow.
Shouldn't torture be legal if we are protecting American lives? Absolutely not. Not under any circumstances. Torture doesn't work. Torture is illegal internationally. It is immoral. And you end up making a recruitment video, essentially, for your greatest enemies. For example, when it became apparent that the U.S. was torturing military prisoners at Abu Ghraib prison in Iraq, and video was leaked showing those prisoners in orange jumpsuits, ISIS bought orange jumpsuits and made its kidnapping victims, who were mostly aid workers and American journalists, wear orange jumpsuits and then beheaded them on camera. They did that only because the U.S. was torturing its prisoners. So torture does not work. Torture is illegal, it is immoral, it is unethical, and no one should be in the business.
It's so crazy to think that we got out here that are raised from a jit, right? You know what I'm saying? Raised from a jit as a normal, and then out of the blue, they go down this fucking rabbit hole and become a torturer for the CIA, for America. Kicking in with a steel-toe boot till he can't breathe no more. That's so crazy to me, just to think like the type of humans that we live with on this, I said platform, in this world, dude. I will always be amazed at humanity and how destructive it is. And I'm glad that this guy took a stance against that shit, because torturing is immoral. It is up. And the fact that it doesn't seem to work should let know that torturing shouldn't be allowed. But I'm pretty sure they still do torture. If we willing to bomb a nigga, send over quick as like we playing Modern Warfare 3, trust and believe we are still torturing, man. They ain't changed that. There is nothing ethical about war.
Of doing it. What's the most dangerous country in the world right now?
Us.
Also a good question. There are several. And I've been to all of them. I never got to go to the nice places. I went to 72 countries with the CIA, and almost all of them were just awful.
Wow. Did the N versus Speed tour, man.
Some of the most dangerous places in the world are Yemen, Somalia, Gaza, Afghanistan, parts of Pakistan.
I told y'all I watched that Navy Navy SEAL 16. Remember whatever his name is? Okay. I'm saying it bad right now. I'm sorry. I sound ignorant as hell. But he said that when he went into parts of the Middle East, it looked very prehistoric. He said he even caught a man having sex with a goat. What the hell? Like he said, they are not caught up in certain areas of the world. It just doesn't look real. You feel me? But yeah.
You have to sleep with one eye open. You just never know how bad things are going to get. And I'll give you an example. I went to Yemen 5 times, and every time I went, it was worse than the previous time.
That's nuts.
The 5th and final time that I went, we were only allowed to stay at one hotel. The hotel had a 30-foot high wall around it to protect it from bomb blasts. You couldn't stay in any of the other hotels by then. Well, the day after I arrived...
Why are you staying in these hotels, bro? Why are we even visiting Yemen? What is in Yemen that's so important for you to visit?
A group of South Korean diplomats arrived.
I'm going to have to deny that.
And on the drive from the airport to the hotel, they were ambushed, and they were all killed, 6 of them. A couple of days later, a group of South Korean intelligence officers arrived to investigate the murder of the 6 diplomats. And they were ambushed, and they were murdered. And so the South Koreans just closed their embassy and went home. That's a pretty dangerous country. What do you make of U.S. foreign policy right now? A complete and utter disaster. I've never seen an administration that works so hard to offend and alienate our friends. Threatening to invade Canada? That's
nuts. That is insane, bro. I'll my Canadian.
An act of war. Canada is not just a NATO country, but it's a Five Eyes country. Five Eyes being the US, the UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, the closest alliance in the entire world. And what, we're going to send an army to Canada and overthrow them? It doesn't make any sense. Even if you're joking, why would you even joke like that out loud? We don't coordinate with our European allies. We're threatening to invade Panama, to take the Panama Canal. We're threatening to invade and annex Greenland. It's craziness. So I'm not a big supporter of US foreign policy right now. Does China actually pose a real risk to the West? I think no. And I'll tell you why. China simply does not have a history of expansionism.
Actually, no, he's not lying. If we look at the history of China, it's always been within China. In fact, they were very, very slow to introducing Western civilization into their society. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why China has such a rich culture. You know what I'm saying? It's not diluted. They try to protect who they were and all that extra. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even built the Great Wall to make sure nobody got in. So, yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
If you put aside Tibet, which the Chinese have always...
Didn't they get rid of their nuclear weapons? I'm not sure if they did, but I would think it would be illogical for any country to even admit that they did that. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't believe any country saying they got rid of them, you know what I'm saying? Especially with all the secrets and stuff going around. Like, what do they gain from just telling people that, right? Like, who would actually sit there and believe that they got rid of these weapons?
Claimed to be a part of China. The Chinese have never invaded another country. They had a little border skirmish with the Vietnamese in the 1970s. They had a little border skirmish against India in the 1960s. But they don't invade countries. And they have only one military base outside of China. It's in Djibouti, and believe it or not, they share it with the United States. It's the US that sees China as the big threat, and Australia and the Philippines kind of see China as a threat. But the Chinese are perplexed as to why we so distrust them.
Yeah, like, that's the one thing I never understood. It's like, we do a whole bunch of trade with this country. In fact, we trade the most with them. I thought we would have such a solid relationship. You feel me? But I don't know if that's more of who's in presidency right now or if that's just how our entire government feels. You know, and in fact, we do have certain people in our governments, and I feel like there's just old congressmen that have never been let go of their position, right? Because can be there for 12 plus some years, you feel me? And they still carry these old ideologies and these old propaganda that China's still spying. I mean, they are. I think they did catch like some Chinese spying hot air balloon or some shit. You feel me? But even then, it's like we doing the same exact shit. You feel me? Everyone is spying on each other.
Is there a threat from China to Taiwan? Of course there is. Taiwan is also seen by the Chinese as being a legitimate part of China, but there's no indication that the Chinese are preparing any offensive measures against Taiwan. I just don't see what the big threat is. Is the CIA or MI6 more elite? MI6 is an absolutely top-tier, first-rate service, but it's like comparing apples and oranges. At the CIA, we used to say how much we wished we could be like MI6, because MI6 is small and it's lean, and when they decide to do something, by God, they go out and do it. At the CIA, when we decide to do something, we have 6 layers of bureaucracy that we have to go through to finally get permission.
So we still have checks and balances within the CIA? That's interesting.
And then the attorneys get involved, and then you have to send it to the president, and then he has to sign it, or change it, or reject it, or do whatever it is he has to do. They don't have that kind of a problem at MI6. They just report directly to the prime minister, and they can get things done. The CIA has a budget that absolutely dwarfs the MI6 budget, and we have our own, high-level technology budget, satellites and spy planes and all kinds of crazy things. So they're both great services, but they're different at the same time.
Okay.
Our sleeper...
So I feel like the CIA, they handle bigger jobs, is what that sounds like, right? They handle things that are going to be a little bit more detrimental to different countries. MI6, they probably do more routine things, you know what I'm saying, small, simple, keep things in order, checks and balances there.
Agents real, yes they are, and the country that is the best at using sleeper agents is Russia.
I mean, that would make sense. That makes sense. Them Russian stone cold. So it's easy to believe that they definitely have sleeper agents.
The United States doesn't have a program of sleeper agents, and I'm frankly unaware of any
I don't even think we need that, though.
Western intelligence service that has sleeper agents or that uses sleeper agents. The Russians have an army of sleeper agents. In fact, just in the last 2 or 3 years, a group of Russians...
Okay. So they have these sleeper agents, but are they actually in the United States? And if they are, who are they talking to trying to take out? You feel me?
Sleeper agents in Northern Virginia, including one in my neighborhood, were disrupted and arrested.
What?
So what a sleeper agent is somebody who is trained as an intelligence officer who is then sent to the United States or the UK or Brazil or Paris or wherever, and told to just get a job, any job, and be a national of that country. And so you've got people who, in the case of what happened in Washington recently, one was an elementary school teacher, and one worked for an airline.
Wow.
Everybody thought they were Americans, and in fact, they're collecting classified information, mostly from U.S. defense contractors, and secretly transmitting it back to Russian intelligence in the evenings. They were disrupted and expelled from the United States.
That is so crazy. So I guess that makes sense as to why the government has put chips in there and everything so they can hear what people are doing. Because there's no way they would have found out that this random Russian guy, or not random Russian guy, but this guy that's supposed to be American just is a sleeper agent for Russia. So that's why, I was saying, like, I feel like they only hone in on specific people. Like, if you do certain jobs, you know what I'm saying, especially that are dealing with the government, like even being a mailman, like, you're going to be more on a watch list. Tay, you remember Thomas, regular show? Y'all remember that.
Chief of Disguise, a real job. You bet it
goat
is.
dude
They
was an
have
agent,
the
double
most
agent.
fun in the world. On the day that I got, you bet it is. They have the most fun in the
of
world.
Disguise,
On
a
the
real
day
job.
that I got hired, I was sitting with 2 other brand new officers, and I sat down. I said, "Hi, my name's John. It's nice to meet you both." They said, "What are you going to do here at the agency?" I said, "I'm going to be an intelligence officer. I have degrees in Middle Eastern studies. What are you guys going to do?" The woman said to me, "Oh, I just graduated from the Falls Church, Virginia Academy of Beauty." Academy of Beauty. She ended up becoming a master disguise maker. And the guy on my left was a cartoonist for his college newspaper. He drew a little cartoon that was very popular. He became a master forger.
Whoa.
So it doesn't really matter what your background is. If you're good at it, there's a place for you at the CIA. And
Hey, see, for all my out there, man, you know what I'm saying? Get that art degree, nigga. This just told you, man, that art degree does account or attribute to something. You can make big dough off it, man. Seriously.
many of those places are working for the director of disguise. What made you decide to blow the whistle? It's very brave. Thank you. At the CIA, we are trained to believe that everything in life is a shade of gray.
It's like when you step in cells, right? They inject the same propaganda in your head too, man. You know, you look at your policy and you realize this policy doesn't even protect this motherfucking vehicle. But, you know, we're taught that, well, it's better for them to have this policy than not to be without it, right? Because it could protect something. Even though they're constantly paying a ton of money into this contract that won't even protect them when the actual issue breaks down. You know what I'm saying? But we give these people the false illusion that, yeah, we're protecting their vehicle and we're doing the right thing because protection is better than nothing, right? It'll protect something. Even though these corporations, right, do intense research to look up the parts that fail the most and don't put them in the contract at times, specifically for the lower tier contracts. You know what I'm saying? You know, you get those terrible bronze level coverage and all that, bro. You're not getting anything protected. And then two, I also learned during sales that we use language, right? This communication is very important. You know what I'm saying? We'll tell someone, yeah, man, your engine, transmission, and what else do we say? Engine, transmission. Let's just say that engine, transmission, that's all protected. You feel me? And we'll say that, but not mean the actual thing. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we tell people, hey, you get 30 days to read this contract. But we know the humans are too busy. We know that the people calling into this business, they don't have time to sit down and read, let alone the energy to sit down and read about car parts. Your average American doesn't even know where the starter is. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? So, or even know how to change the oil. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? So we're going to take advantage of niggas' ignorance and feed them this that we're protecting them when we know well we just have you on this month-to-month protection plan that's just paying us. And you're going to be stuck with us until your car breaks down. You have an 07 Toyota. Those are notorious for not even breaking down. They last a lifetime. But because we fed you this propaganda that, oh, your car can break down at any time, you might lose your best friend meaning the car. You know, if you don't protect it, you're doing yourself a disservice, right? And so we feed them this illusion and all that extra shit. What am I doing? Shut up. But yeah, man, we did the same shit. But so I'm glad I don't do sales anymore. You feel me? Because at the same time, I realized like, this is kind of up. Like I had a point where I lied to a lady and she was telling me that her lights weren't even cutting on. But because I was so afraid of losing the sale and having her cancel her protection plan, I basically told a little lie. I spread, you know what I'm saying? And I used language. She asked me, is everything covered? Is my engine and transmission covered? And what I do, I said, your transmission and engine is covered in this protection plan. Now, peep what I said. This is why communication is very important. I didn't sit there and agree with her, but at the same time, I didn't denounce what she said. I just simply said, within your protection plan, your engine and transmission is covered. What she doesn't know is that there's specific parts of her engine that's protected. Legally, I couldn't tell her that everything is covered, because everything means everything within that engine. But she doesn't know, with me saying that her engine and transmission is protected, that means aspects of her engine and transmission was protected. So every time she would ask me, is everything protected? I would tell her, ma'am, your engine and transmission is protected under this protection plan. You'll be all good to go. And keep in mind, she just told me that her lights is about to cut off. And after that moment, man, I was like, damn. I'm like, I just saved my stats and just got me more money, right? But this woman just signed up for a protection plan that could be used to keep her lights on. I even told her, I said, ma'am, if you're not able to use that car, how are you going to be able to make money? Now you have to spend more money on transportation. You need your car to go to work. The last thing that we need is a mechanical breakdown. So I fed her fear. I gave her an illusion that, oh God, if you lose this car, everything is going to end and you're going to be put in a way worse situation. But this is what sales does, man. And I learned a lot of I learned the way, like, I learned how people talk. I learned how people avoid saying certain things. You feel me? You know, that's why I brought the MJ, you feel me? Where the lawyer didn't technically say he won't do it again. He just said MJ won't be doing that. Communication is important, right? people that have a silver tongue, people that get into this line of business, they have to know how to talk. They can't say certain things because if they do, they can get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, I digress, man.
And that is just simply not true. Some things are black and white. They're right or wrong. And the United States has laws that ban torture. We have the federal torture.
Imagine. Still allow it though. I'm pretty sure we legit have a group of people that still torture.
Act of 1946. We are not just signatories to the United Nations.
Oh yeah, but after that moment, you feel me? I went into real sales and I was like, man, I can't keep up with this. You feel me? I had people legit debating with me, you know what I'm saying? Talking about God gonna fix it. I said, sir, God ain't never came down and fixed the mechanical breakdown. He ain't a mechanic. That's how serious these sales calls were getting, man. You feel me? I wasn't denouncing God, but the things that people would say to me to not get the coverage, I was like, gang, like it's never that deep. And I'm not finna sit here and, make people feel bad for not wanting it or even manipulate someone into believing that they need this protection plan and go against my morals. I told that lady that, her having this car was more important than her lights. I was like, I'm losing the plot, gang. Instantly had to move up out that section, bro. I never felt so guilty like that before. But at the same time, I was so anxious of having bad numbers and being fired. You feel me? So it was like, do I keep my job or do I take advantage of this lady? And when you get into any position or field in your life where you have to compromise somebody else's well-being, it might be time to reconsider what you're doing, bro. Seriously.
Nations Convention Against Torture. We wrote the United Nations Convention Against Torture. In 1946, the United States executed Japanese soldiers who waterboarded American POWs. In 1968, an American soldier waterboarded a North Vietnamese prisoner and was given 20 years at hard labor in a military prison after being convicted of torture. The law never changed. So how is it then that from 2002 to 2005, torture was somehow magically legal? It wasn't legal. We were committing crimes against humanity. And so it was something that I having known the details, I couldn't sleep at night. And I believed, and in retrospect, I was right, that the American people had a right to know what their government was doing in their name. And I'm proud to say that because of my revelations, the McCain-Feinstein Amendment was passed into law and it formally and permanently banned torture.
Did it though? Did it actually though? Like, with how secretive, I'm pretty sure after you came out, you feel me? After you came out and told people, or came out as a whistleblower, I'm pretty sure they anchored down on the type of people they were allowing into this group, right? You were the anomaly, and I'm pretty sure, knowing how tight the government likes to keep things, they decided to become more detailed with their selections. You know what I'm saying? Murder's illegal, murder still happens. That is crazy. Dog, torture is definitely still happening. There's no way, bro. There's no way that it's not happening. And I'm pretty sure he knows that. We passed the law so that Americans wouldn't be mad. You know what I'm saying? To keep happy, to shut them niggas up. But in the eyes of the American government that work that shit, they're like, you don't understand what's going on behind the scenes. We need to do this. This is the way we protect y'all. You feel me? So these people get this immunity from these amendments.
She said, wait, I seen a star. I'm obsessed, so feel me more. Seems like, yeah, they need me more. Baby, you're lazy, baby, you're lazy. This shit fake, that shit real. Can't relate, yeah, check my bills. I say clear when I'm in that field. It's good time, y'all skip in the hills. I'm seeing Charlotte with the hills, I'm trying to holler. She doing shit, she's trying to move it for the dollar. These people hating, yeah, they waiting for the fall off. I see them twin on the net, turn light off. We see the strobe lights here, yeah. Sunny with the girls in the grill, yeah. Fucking bring the rose in the hills. She cold with the mess. I'm a pro with the diss, but you're cold.